It's very difficult, if not impossible, to deal with it while the society around you is so aggressive, as South Africa is. It just got to me, it got too much. And the war was at its most intense then, and I thought, I've got to get out of this place. I've got to get to some peaceful place where I can lick my wounds and recoup. And yeah, be somewhere where people are just normal. So I traveled around Europe for a while, and I met Anna in Greece. And then we came here to Sweden. When we came here, it was winter. It was very dark. Unbelievably cold and dark by South African standards. And that didn't help. It wasn't very easy. The darkness and the continual cold plunged me into a kind of depression after a while. The alarm goes, and you make for the copter. And you get briefed that at this village there are X number of enemy. They're armed with such and such. Your job is to take them out. Not thinking, maybe I won't come back from this one. Maybe this is it. Those thoughts you push aside. You are loaded and aimed. And you go into that village, and if anything, you overkill. It's them or us. It's always like that in war. It's them or us. You don't stop to think, well, maybe there's an old grandpa there who doesn't deserve to die. You can't have those thoughts. You can't have those thoughts. Somewhere you shit scared. Somewhere you just shoot everything that moves. And then maybe afterwards you think, fuck, there aren't that many soldiers here. Quite a few civilians. They look like civilians. Well, at first everything's just the enemy, but maybe after 2 years you think, what the fuck are we doing? You know, there were maybe a hell of a lot of civilians. Maybe a hell of a lot of women and children. what have we been doing? I didn't enjoy school at all. I didn't respect the teachers, I didn't like them. And they didn't like me either. I think I was a bit of a rebel in some way. I used to get beaten quite often, and I don't know, in some way I was quite proud of that. It showed where I stood. I held the record for the most amount of cuts at one stage. And as for cadets, our cadets, once a week, I as often as I could, I used to sneak off and take a smoke behind the changing room instead. I thought those teachers dressed up looked completely ridiculous in their silly short browns and their long socks, skinny white legs. They didn't look, remotely like soldiers. Pot bellies, stupid-looking berets. I thought these guys would be completely useless, absolutely useless in a war situation. If I want to be a soldier, I want to be a proper soldier. I don't want to be like this. Pathetic, ridiculous. Bloody fucking hell. The army was like always a presence in the background. It was almost as though it was part of nature, that there would be a Dakota humming around overhead. And not that it meant anything at the time, but there was a kind of a fascination. You'd see these little black dots falling out of the Dakota and then opening out into green canopies that floated down. So there was a whole culture of military presence there. And it seemed like a way out. Excuse me. I was looking forward to it. I was looking forward to a way of getting out. And when the call-up papers came in Standard 9, we all excitedly were talking with each other about what we'd like to do, where we'd like to go, and so on. And you were allowed to choose where you'd go. It's not not so that you would definitely get what you wanted, but I wrote down 1 parachute battalion combat unit.